Okay, there we go. Yeah, my mic wasn't working for some reason. It was just not set to it. I don't know. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, yeah, we're working on this commission here. Dark Vlogger was kind enough to pick up a character commission slot. So we're going to be working that on stream today. Pretty happy with the sketch. Can't complain. I really like it. I felt really compelled to also add a background. I'm going to try to keep it pretty loose, just because I want the focus to be the character still. But yeah, so I actually have my layers separated. We have a base layer. So we have under the sketch, I usually do a base layer just to kind of get stuff in. But I have a base layer and a base layer for the character, just in case we decide to not have a background. Want to kind of keep it separated. And then I have a top painting that goes above the sketch. So yeah. Let's get started here. Oh, working on a different, pick a different brush here. I don't know if I think I want to work with, yeah, that. So we're going to be working kind of like this bluish tone at first. for our base. Gonna add some more as we go here. So very much like the last time, I'm picking just like a base color to kind of work in, kind of help establish the temperature and the mood of the piece. Right now we're just kind of slapping some color in, so we're just not working on a white canvas. Thank you everyone for joining me today on stream. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. We're just kind of filling in all the spots. Switch to a different brush. I usually just use one brush, but I've been trying out different ones, but I still kind of gravitate towards the one I've been using for a long time. It's just this kind of like, it's basically just a regular square chalk brush. That I really liked. Trying to imagine the path here. The sunlight, so the lighting is coming from this side. Gonna have the bulk of our shadows over here and underneath. Let me know if my mic volume is a little quiet. My headphones are always way louder than the music is when I listen back to the stream, so I'm always like thinking I'm blasting the music. I usually just have the music on to fill the noise, fill the white noise, I mean. So yeah, we're just kind of thinking about our lighting a little bit. Cool, thank you. Kind of starting to work on, you know, establishing our shapes, stuff like that. Yada yada yada. Going to be zoomed out a lot, so fair warning. Might be a little tiny on the screen. I don't want that tree there. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted to paint a background for this. I've just been really into painting backgrounds lately. I don't know why. I've started getting into more nature studies and stuff a lot more, I guess. And I've been really enjoying painting forests. So it's kind of where I'm at. And the pose and everything, it feels very much like they're wandering through like a forest of some sort. Feels very peaceful. So hopefully we can, the goal is to kind of tell that tranquility, but also kind of like with the mood, maybe perhaps a little bit of like caution, like potential for danger. We talked about this briefly on the last stream. This is kind of the part of the process that takes, I would say, aside from sketching, it takes the longest. Got a piece of hair on me. Just kind of establishing everything. Figuring things out. Figuring out our lighting and our shapes. And for me, in terms of the process, this bit takes the longest, aside from sketching. Sketching takes me either a super quick time, like under 5 minutes, or it takes me a very long time, like hours. Like with this one, like I wanted to make sure I got all the details right ahead of time because I didn't really want to mess around with painting them on the fly and messing around with. There's a lot of hard shapes and edges on this one, so I definitely wanted to sketch them pretty close to final. And there's a lot going on detail wise, so I wanted to make sure I had like a good, strong final sketch going into it. Other pieces like that you may see videos of, like my painting of like Ivysaur that I have on YouTube. If you check out that video in the beginning, you'll see the sketch really quick. It is very minimal. It's like a thumbnail sketch, just like a little blob at an angle with like a little bit of forestry, and then I just painted over it. That sketch was like maybe 2 minutes. But yeah, then you have like Haunter, who's also in the Pokemon series. Like there's a lot of detail in that room, so that took a lot of sketching and finalizing. So yeah, it depends on the piece. This color right here is probably what will be in our base coat for our character too, so I'm just going to kind of do that now. Whoa. Excuse me. Just kind of blocking in the shape. For the character here. Dark Vlogger, what color is the horse? I forgot to ask that. It might have said in the sheet, but I didn't see it. There's a lot of info. I didn't see it. I might have missed that. Is it black? Okay, sure. You had an opportunity there. You could have been like, it's actually a golden horse. The horse is actually made out of diamonds. That would suck. If it was made out of like diamonds, some prismatic gem. That would suck so hard to paint. I would legit be mad. Like, I would legit be so mad, like deep down, Be like, God damn it. This crystalline horse. Welcome to the stream, Haley. Thanks for stopping by. You know, Fire Horse, I feel like I wouldn't be mad about it, because here's why, right? I would paint the gist of it. Like, you'd see it's fire, but then I just, like, cover it with, like, smoke or something. like, oh yeah, it trails off into smoke. It's kind of badass, right? And then, like, it helps me, like, cover half of it. Like, I was so relieved when you were like, the pixie you could have her like sitting on the head, really tiny. And I was like, oh great. A lot of the details will probably not be super there. All right. So we have that in. Add some shadows a little bit in the bottom. Once again, just so we know, our light source is shoop, shoop, shoop. Like ish. We're gonna that's a loose. We're gonna probably not follow that. But it's thereabouts. Got some darker spots here, like some dug up root area. Start adding in some other color. Yeah, I think it's like every trade for sure. Like there's always like that one. There's always that like one client, right? That like you're kind of like, okay, yeah, paycheck's good, but like my God. I've had a couple clients in the past where it my eyes would roll so far that they'd like probably flip around and revert back to where they would be because of some stuff that was requested. Still do it though, but my God. We're just literally slapping in some color right now and just kind of seeing what we like. I'm kind of feeling like doing I'm kind of feel like doing like an autumn kind of look. I don't usually paint autumn scenery. Maybe it's because I'm sick of, despite how beautiful it is, I'm just kind of sick of seeing it because it lasts a while where I live, and I'm just kind of like, I really like floral spring, which doesn't last very long around here, so I tend to paint that more. But I kind of want to do autumnal vibes. My favorite is right before the deadline, like there's last minute edits that like basically change the foundation of a project. And they're like, but this could be done by like tomorrow, right? Like, what? Yeah, I guess if I lose sleep. So no. I refuse to do that. Yeah. Hey, welcome to the stream, Dungeon Mom. I appreciate you coming by. You're gonna witness me ruin a commission. The sketch was so good, and we're probably gonna destroy it now. Yeah, we're off to a decent start, for sure. What I love about this part is you're just basically like mashing in a bunch of shapes and textures and but it kind of like makes cool things, like makes cool shapes and images happen. Like up here I'm just kind of like rapidly blending and stamping the brush, but it's making like really cool, like almost like a leaf texture that I like. Except for that area, we'll forget about that area. But yeah. Oh, here comes the sun, turning me into like some sort of celestial god. Oh, it happens every time. I gotta put a curtain over that window. Because what I need in a basement office, is less light. For sure. I'm literally wearing it so I can see. Like, I went upstairs before the stream started. I was like, I should wear my hat because I won't be able to see at a certain point because I'm be blinded. So that's why towards the end of the stream I tend to look like this because I need the sun out of my fucking face. It's definitely not for style points. Look at this hat. It's so bad. It like got like bleached like here. Like, I don't know. I need a new hat. Patreon.com/creative outpouring. Help me buy a new hat. There you go. That's my goal. My Patreon goal is to buy a new hat. No, I went to go get a hat just at like Target or something, right? And they kind of suck. This is from Target, and it lasted like a week, and then it looked like this. And now it just is like crap. I hate it. Doesn't even like stay tight. Like it's like the clamp on the back. Look at this. I'm like glowing. Look at this shit. Oh, it would help if I turned this light off. That helps nothing. Hello, we are gonna paint today. Wild. No, it's definitely like some first world problems for sure, but it's just like it yeah, no, I did leave a scathing review on Yelp for the Sun, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect it. They don't care. Sun don't care about me and my needs. I do want to shift focus to the character itself, so I will probably stop the background there for now and noodle around with it some more at a different time. Just want to kind of finish this little corner over here. All right. Not bad so far. I'll take it, you know. We're doing okay. I want to try to make sure that, like, despite us painting on a separate layer, that it still feels like with the background. I don't usually paint them separate, but I kind of wanted to leave the option in case me and Dark Vlogger decide we don't like the background. I can just delete it, you know, it's really easy, or hide it. Like, maybe I botched the rest of the background, you know, who knows. The main focus is the character. That's kind of what we're focusing on in terms of the commission itself. I didn't get hired to paint trees. Got hired to paint a damn paladin. Dark Vlogger, you said the hilt is wrapped in ivy. What color is the hilt itself, though? Is it green as well, or is it like red and like there's green ivy all over it? I'm putting you on the spot. I apologize. Oh, yeah, it's leather. Yeah, that's what it was. All right. I could be like, so red. so red. I'll just make it red. I won't even add texture or anything to it. Cool. What? Oh. Yeah, I'll tell you about a little spin that I added, and it could just be the fact that I actually interpreted your information correctly or not. Let me know. But the horse's tabard, like the horse's dressing, I was like, oh, it'd be cool to make like the top half solid red, and then the bottom like alternating like black and white lines, and the white lines have the heraldry symbol in it. So like, whoop, I just hit the window button instead of alt. Now everyone knows I work in Windows. Shit. So it'd be something like this. I can't see now. I made it too dark. You know, that vibe. Yeah, ermine, thank you. God, I can't remember my terminology at all. You have no idea how many times I had to Google some of the terms. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know terms well. I just know, like, I know what I like. and then I'm kind of like, yeah, that thing that goes there. I was pretty impressed with your verbiage of medieval garb. So something like that, roughly. And yeah. Oh wait, does it go down further? I gotta look at the sketch. Yeah, so it'd be like that, and then it would just kind of have like, you just kind of do black. Yeah, I wasn't sure if black went against like the color scheme. I really appreciate the research. I really do. I do a lot of research with client work for sure. I do a lot of research for my own too. But yeah, no, I don't do like terminology and stuff. So I really appreciate the specific terminology because it did help me when I did have to look up stuff like references of how to paint them and stuff. So yeah, I appreciate that. Your research was very thorough and that was really helpful. It was like so helpful that at the beginning it was like overwhelming, but like not in a bad way. But I was like, man, this is a lot of information. I was like, this is actually really helpful. But I guess I'm just not used to getting that much. That initially I was like, I needed to like digest it for a minute. But no, it was great. I really appreciate it. So yeah, something like that, you know, like obviously without the sketch stuff. Oh, dude, art directors, at least the ones that I've worked with, it's like a paragraph. It's like a paragraph of information, and then they'll have a bunch of edits afterwards. So, like, I had some that are really thoroughly researched, which is really cool and helpful, because it definitely helps get it kind of more one and done. But some art directors just kind of, like, want to see how you interpret the information and then work with you on, like, massaging it into something better, which is fine, but it does make the process take longer, you know. I would say the most efficient thing would be to invest the time initially, like you did, with like all the research and like really descriptive information. Even with like the pose, right? Like, it's not that like what was cool is I got the understanding that like you were super flexible with like interpretation, but you definitely already knew what you were like looking for, you know what I mean, which is good. Sometimes it's good to, you know, have like open-ended whatever you want with a brief description, but like it was cool that you knew what you wanted and you didn't expect me to like read your mind, which I also appreciate. So yeah, because that can get a little unnerving sometimes too, is like when you I think it depends on the client or the art director or whatever. Like sometimes you're just like not on the same wavelength, so like when they expect you to kind of like go with it and interpret what they're saying, no matter how brief, it gets a little frustrating because you don't quite know what they're talking about. So yeah, I always recommend just kind of like giving as much, I guess not as much information, but just as much direct information, you know, as you can. Because you could have really brief description, but be very straight to the point and know exactly what you want, and it's really easy to interpret. Gotta fix that so it's more centered. When I sketched it, it was like really off-centered and weird, but that's fine, we fixed it. Actually, that's not even this place. All right. Here we go. You could have a page of information that literally says nothing. Some do. I mean, for sure, there are some art directors that expect like more of a back and forth process. But there are some art directors that do like what you did. It's like supply a mood board. I think it depends on how established the idea is already. Like, I did some mild art directing on a project that I'm working on, where like I gave some descriptions about things, but I was really open to reinterpretation. And I was actually going in with the intention that like I was probably gonna redesign the characters anyway, but I kind of needed a good foundation. So I just kind of gave like a description of like the mood and like the vibe of the character. Tried to give descriptions as best I could in terms of that, but kind of also let interpretation kind of take over, because I wasn't super familiar with like the more cartoony kind of genre I was hoping to kind of get across. So I was kind of relying on that expertise to kind of carry that a little bit more. But yeah, I've also worked with some art directors that are super thorough and give a lot of information. So it depends on the project and the person, you know. I haven't really had any issues with either or. In terms of experience, like not necessarily like having any issues in terms of like working on it effectively or whatever, but I haven't really had too many complaints of... I haven't had too many gripes of any art directors I've worked with. They've all been pretty cool and pretty understanding and fun to work with, you know. Okay. I'm feeling it so far. I gotta paint over the sketch though. Kind of let it pop out a little more, you know. I want the light to be a little warmer. See if I can add a little bit of yellow in here. Warm it up just a little. Kind of want to create like a warm to cool gradient like on the figure. That'd be kind of nice, like where the light's hitting it. But like have it like more stark, right? So it's like warm here and like immediately cool, you know, like not like a gradual kind of thing. I'm sure there are some artists watching that are like, you mean like art? Like pieces that people make? Yeah, I know. I always want to make tutorial videos that kind of talk about like my personal process and stuff, like what I do. But I always like get hesitant because I'm just like, I'm just kind of like, I have my process or whatever, but I wouldn't say I'm like a pro in terms of like what you should and shouldn't be doing. But I guess as long as I establish that in the beginning, I think it's fine. Right? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I went to school for graphic design, so like I learned like some fundamentals of like art and stuff, but everything else was pretty self-taught. Yeah. So like my main focus was more about what works in terms of like aesthetic and design principles, which sometimes overlap with like illustration principles, a lot of the time actually, but like yeah, stuff like that you would see in like painting and stuff. No, I didn't really learn a lot of that stuff. Took some drawing classes here and there because I had to for my major, but yeah, nothing outside of the basics. I didn't pick up like painting and stuff like that until after college, like about oh gosh, when did I graduate? About like 11, 12 years ago, give or take. I mean, I illustrated a little bit while I was there, so yeah, 11 or 12 years ago. But I didn't start pursuing doing like fantasy art. Like I didn't start doing commissions until like 2019 roughly. Because I didn't think I was at like the level to do it. Like I didn't think I was ever ready, you know. And then a couple people took chances on me and let me just kind of like do my thing, and I kind of got into a groove, and it felt good. I felt okay with it. So yeah, I appreciate those people that gave me a chance back then. Let me kind of learn from doing, you know. Because when I was looking for design jobs, I kind of ran into the same catch-22 I think a lot of people run into. It's like every place is hiring, but they all need more experience. But in order to get more experience, you need to get a job. So how do you get more experience, right? So what you really need is connections. Is like what you learned. I mean, I even went to like my high school like career coach thing. Like they had a career center area where they would kind of help line up with either headhunters or whatever to like help you get jobs. And the guy just sat there and was like, "Have you tried starting your own business?" I'm like, "That's what you suggest to me?" I'm like 20 years old. You know what I mean? Like what do you want me to do? So like I did. I mean, I started my own business, and I mean, I got a job. I eventually got a job. I got really lucky getting a job. Yeah, I know. Great idea. Let me start my business with my no money. Yeah, so I did kind of start a business part-time. Just kind of, I actually did a lot of, you know, those pop culture t-shirts. I still sell them, like in my shop, but I don't make them much anymore. But I used to do that for those like daily sites like T Fury and Ripped Apparel and all that stuff. I started by doing just that. And that kind of brought in enough money to kind of justify doing it part-time. But I was still, I had to look for design gigs. It wasn't really justifying a full-time, salary. So I was doing that, and I kind of lucked out right around the time we were planning to move where I live now. Well, not exactly where I live now, where our apartment that was near where we live now. There was a graphic design job that opened up at a college, and their only requirements were high school diploma, right? They didn't know what they needed or were doing, luckily. And at the time, I mean, I just had an associate's degree, like I didn't really have, lots of people have bachelor's or more. But yeah, I just had an associate's, so it made it hard to get jobs outside of that, but I lucked out with that college because they just had, high school and up, and depending on your experience or whatever, they'd pay you, differently, more or less, whatever. So I went in there and I had a really good portfolio. Because I worked on my portfolio. I worked really hard on my portfolio, and I actually had a really good portfolio despite not having, the degree to match. So I got hired there, and I worked there for 5 years. And while I was doing that, I was working nights doing this freelance stuff. And but I was doing still like the t-shirts, illustrations and stuff. So that kind of headspace is definitely different than the headspace of doing these. It's a different headspace than doing these kinds of commissions and illustrations. These like fully painted things. That you're limited to color. You have a color limit you're kind of working with, and you have to kind of keep everything on separate layers because it's screen printed, and they kind of need you to separate the colors anyway. So you might as well work in separate layers. Yada yada yada. So yeah, I eventually started doing this kind of stuff for my game around like 2017-ish. I wanted to make a tabletop game, or at least slowly make one in my free time. I'm still making it to this day. I'm still working on it. Now that I have time allotted for doing that, I'm able to focus a little more on it here and there. But yeah, so I was really motivated to like do that. I was really inspired by like Magic the Gathering and D&D, much like a lot of other people probably are. And I just think the artwork in those pieces are just really captivating and really inspiring. And I was just like, oh, I kind of want to do that. So it made me kind of shift my focus into doing that stuff, doing that kind of artwork. And I really enjoy it. I think those pieces are fun. I don't think I'm at that level yet, which is fine. I'm not like mad about that or anything. But I'm getting there. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, been doing it for about doing that kind of focus for like 5 years. Has been good. Been enjoying learning it. I don't know why I went on this entire tangent of my biography, but here we are. So yeah, I left my job in 2018 to do this full time, and I've been doing it ever since full time. I'm really grateful for all the people that have hired me and given me chances on projects. I'm very, very blessed, for sure. DM looking at you. Yeah, so I do tabletop RPGs, like artwork for them. I've done stuff for Ghostfire Gaming and Paizo. And like shows like TTRPG, like actual play shows like D4 and Demiplane's Children of Erte. I do their character artwork. Yeah, no, I really like both of them. I mean, I really enjoyed working with Ghostfire Gaming for sure. Paizo, I only worked on one project, so I don't really have like too much of a familiarity with them outside of it, but I had a good experience with that project, so I would love to do more. I did Starfinder, which was fun. It was a fun challenge, to say the least. I don't think I like this tree. That's okay. Gonna be wrapping up in a few minutes. I did 2 shows. D4 RPG, which is like a live actual play D&D show. I did the character artwork for them for their level 10 glow ups or whatever for their characters. I've also done a lot of their guest character arts. And I've also done Demiplane's Children of Erte. It's basically Earth, the word Earth, but instead of an H at the end, it's an E with a, I think it's an E with a thing above it. If I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I did their character artwork for the series so far. And as far as I know, I'm doing their next character artwork if they have more. So that's great. I'm excited. Yeah, Demiplane is it's all one word. So, but yeah, I can, here, let me share their Twitter. You can kind of check them out. Yeah. They're cool people for sure. I like working with both of them. They're nice. Adam's a good dude. Yeah, they definitely all up their production quality, and they all kind of sprung about, like, not all of them. There's been a lot that have been established for years, but like when the pandemic hit and everyone was kind of stuck at home, like I felt like those were a great outlet for a lot of people, like doing like live plays, like, you know, over Zoom. Quality was never that great, but it was cool to see a lot of people come up with really creative ways to still make things and make ways to tell stories and stuff. That was really cool. Yeah, I went through a phase where I took being on Twitch and stuff more seriously, and I didn't like it, so I quit that very quick. And now I'm just kind of like, hey, I draw stuff, and maybe I'll play a game if I can. But I cancel that stream a lot. It's usually on Fridays, and Fridays just end up being really crazy a lot of the time. But no, I think tomorrow I'll probably either work more on this or something. Yeah, no, I didn't pursue it for that long. So I respect your time put in, for sure. Yeah, I did it for like a year, 2 years, and I was just kind of like, I felt like it was getting in the way a lot. I felt like it was getting in the way a lot of like actual like work that needed to be done. I felt like I was shifting my schedule a lot just to kind of accommodate for a thing that didn't really didn't need to be that serious. So I was just kind of like, you know what, like I took a break for a long time, and then I kind of started getting back into it this year, and have just been kind of like, you know, I'm just gonna kind of paint stuff and hope people dig it, and I'm not gonna worry about it, and I'm gonna try to paint stuff that I actually need to paint, stuff that I need to work on. And I kind of use it as a way to motivate myself to like actually finish personal projects, because I keep putting them off. Same thing with the Patreon. It's kind of like just there. Like a lot of it is like stuff that I post full images there, and like I post cropped ones on social media just because, I mean, posting on social media is basically just training AI now, so I kind of avoid it. Or like I post glazed versions of my artwork. So yeah, it's a lot of that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll stop there. I'm feeling pretty good about it. We're off to a good start. Yeah, the sun is blinding me now, so that's my time of, yeah, the glaze poison. Thank you, Fromlock. I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you all coming out to the stream. This is a lot of fun. I'll probably, if I'm streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I know, for sure. My God, this is like, it's torturous. I gotta. It's more just, it's not even that bad. It's more like just like annoying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, I can still work. I can see my screen just because of the angle. But like, if I move, I am now a sun god. Just become. I can't tan, dude. I just roast. Like, I just, this is me in the summertime. I become a ball of light. Yeah, I don't tan. I just, but see, now I don't want to get a curtain because now I kind of feel like it's become a bit. You know what I mean? And I kind of like the bit. But, yeah, no. I think it is, isn't it? Just kind of like somebody that like goes out at a certain time and become, when Josh goes hyper. Yeah, this is when I get a power up. I just like, and I just like come back. Yeah, no, I went on a trip with my wife a few years back, and I didn't even get sunburnt or anything, but it turns out I got sun poisoning. So like, there was like an island, is like Cape Cod area in Massachusetts, and there's like island Martha's Vineyards like off the coast, and it's a label she goes, I've talked to her about it. I said, do you prefer to be called partner or do you prefer wife? What would you prefer? And she says wife is good. So yes. Yeah, I'm married. I've been married for, God, 11 years. 11 years now. Yeah, our 11th anniversary just happened. So that's right. Someone put a ring on it, dude. Like, somebody put a ring on me. I feel worthy. It's great. So anyway, we went, and I got like sun poisoning. I don't even know how. I was wearing sunscreen and all this stuff. I didn't have any sunburns or anything. And we were just like, we're on Martha's Vineyard and we're like about to like travel back. You have to take a ferry. And I just like couldn't get to the ferry. I just like kept being like, I gotta lie down. I kept missing the ferry because I had to like lay on a dock and just kind of like lay there. And like I couldn't get up. I felt like shit. We got there finally. I ended up getting like a temp of like almost like 105. Like I had to like take an ice bath. It was a terrible experience. It was like the worst way to have a vacation. It really sucked. We almost had to go to the hospital. It got really bad. Sun poisoning is like you just get overexposure to the sun and it makes you sick. Us pasties get it a lot, I think. Or just I do. And yeah, no, it sucked. It was a terrible experience. I wouldn't recommend it on anybody. It's like, yeah, it was really bad. So yeah, but we're okay. We're fine. You need to avoid the sun. The sun is out to kill you. No, yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I was just out too much in the sun, you know. No hat on, or the sunscreen might have wore off and I didn't reapply it, and I just kind of like, instead of getting burnt, they were just like, enjoy a subtle near-death experience. But yeah, no. What was wild though was like I bounced back pretty quick. It was like maybe a day. It was just like maybe a day or two, and it was wild. It was like a roller coaster. Like the shittiest roller coasters suck anyway, but like the shittiest roller coaster I've ever been on. Yeah, no, it pointed me out and was like, no, I'm gonna ice this fool. And that happened. But anyway, I'm ranting again. Thank you all for coming to the stream. I will try to be back tomorrow, same time. Probably working more on this. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. More behind the scenes stuff is at patreon.com/creative outpouring. Feel free to follow me on any of the social medias or whatever you'd like. You can follow the Patreon for free. I kind of use it as a blog, and I post a lot of public posts. So if you just want to follow it for free, you can. You don't have to pay anything. You get more stuff like digital downloads and stuff like that for at paid tiers. Thank you, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, bye everyone. Be good.